What do you consider tricking?
What do I consider tricking?
Mm-hmm.
I consider that the exchange of currency or some type of material things for either pleasure, friendship, or just for some goddamn odd reason that you just like giving away shit.
What's going on, Rebel family? Today's video is it tricking if you can afford it. But before we get to the video, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. So, the topic of this video comes from social media. There was a post that a brother did on Twitter, and it appears that he, wanted to fly a chick out, and things didn't go the way he wanted. And that's what I want to discuss. Is it tricking? Was he tricking? So let's jump right over into that. All right. So here we go. Took someone's daughter for 1 week vacation, flight and hotel paid. The cow has refused to sleep in my bed. Allowed her to sleep in the kid's bed. Okay, now peep her body language here. Just look at her body language. I'm gonna keep going here, but just remember her body language in these screenshots here. Okay. So he says she already called her friends, telling them she will be back after a week. Moved up her return ticket to tomorrow 4 p.m. She leaves the hotel at 9 a.m. for a 4 p.m. flight. Sent the new ticket to her WhatsApp. Delilah is now in my bed. Okay. All right. Let's keep going because just remember the body language. Look at the body language here still. All right. All right. She's trying everything to change my mind. Behind me, Satan. You go home tomorrow. I am not touching her. All right. Looks like she's trying to entice him a little bit. The cakes were exposed. Uh, so looks like she's trying, to entice the guy. I don't know if he's black or white, by the way, because I tried looking. Looks like he's a white dude that likes to deal with African chicks or whatever. This looks like it's in Africa. Anyway, I'll be damned if I touch her. I think I'll take the kid's bed, right? So you got the chick all exposed and everything, whatever, right? So let's keep going here. So he says, update. She left. She complained about me not consulting her before moving up her flight, as a gentleman gave her some cash for Uber for when she lands. Jezebel still had the audacity to ask for more money. No thanks for the treat. Took back the Uber cash. And this is some African language here, I don't know. Didn't touch her. Many cute looking female solo travelers here living on their bill. Got two Beyonce like Zungas already during breakfast. I think Leo Katamba, I don't know. We are already talking about covering 20 countries together in the next few weeks. All right, so that's it there, all right? So, based on the definition that Too Short gave at the beginning, and I'll play it again here. Actually, I'll just go ahead and play it again here real quick.
What do you consider tricking?
What do I consider tricking?
Mm-hmm.
I consider that the exchange of currency or some type of material things for either pleasure, friendship, or just for some goddamn odd reason that you just like giving away shit.
All right, so that was Too Short again. All right, so let's bring this back up. All right, and told you to look at her body language. Now, based upon even that definition is what we kind of used back in the 90s. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and that's kind of the definition that we understood tricking was. Tricking didn't have anything to do with, you know, what we called the main lady at the time, your main lady, any side chicks or anything like that, or any chick that you just wanted to deal with for particularly one reason only. That was, and you spent money on them or whatever like that is termed of tricking. But nonetheless, and for just you just trying to you're just trying to smash. We consider that tricking, right? If you were going to give her money and all that kind of stuff or whatever, but not anything for someone that quote unquote cared about or anything like that or whatever, right? That wasn't tricking, or, especially if it was, brothers had baby moms or married or whatever. You had your main girlfriend. And obviously, I'm not advocating any of this stuff. I'm just talking about this from the standpoint of because brothers are going to do what they're going to do. And just as an educational point, um, just why I'm covering this. So I'm not advocating this, but look at this. So the body language is off here. He thinks he's exposing her, but he really is putting himself out there because what if this chick said, I felt like I was being forced, and she used these pictures as proof, right? Look at the body language. She clearly is uncomfortable being in the bed like this. You know, if she was vindictive, what happens if she says, "Hey, I felt like I was forced because he was moving up my flight. So I felt like I had to, you know, do X, Y, and Z or whatever, right?" And he didn't touch her, but still, right? Now you got these pictures out here. Well, I didn't know he was taking these pictures, and I feel so, X, Y, and Z violated or whatever, right? We know how these things happen, and you're guilty before you're not innocent, and then you're not um, innocent and proven guilty. You're guilty, and then you have to try to prove yourself innocent, and even then you're still guilty, right? When these things go down, that whole Me Too movement and all that kind of stuff, you're guilty if it's just said, and then you put the pictures out here, and you put you know this thing out here. And I don't think Black feminist Twitter got a hold of this story because if they did, that's exactly what it would have been said. I didn't see any of that in the comments or whatever. This was just kind of going on between men or whatever it seems like, because that's the only place I saw it, and men talking about it. But yeah, look at this. I mean, she just looks totally uncomfortable here. I kind of cringed when I saw it. I was like, damn, brother, you put yourself in a bad situation. I don't understand the whole flying women out, and he was flying her out for a whole week. So I don't know the background, the backstory, how long he knew her, what was said, what was the expectation, what was her expectation. Clearly we see what his expectation was. She didn't even sleep in the bed, let alone go further than that. And he was like, you got to bounce. So clearly we can see what his expectation is. And so I don't understand why he just didn't go on vacation and then just try to do what he wind up doing anyway, meeting women who are already on vacation there and just kind of kick it with them. Or take someone that you already had a rapport with, it's already been something, and you actually kind of enjoy her company. Because imagine taking someone that you've never been out with before on a vacation, a week long vacation. What happens when you don't, you know, you only enjoy one thing with the person, but you can't stand being around them outside of that? Like, can you imagine being around a person that you do not like outside of the bedroom for a week? That's crazy to me. Like, I can't even fathom that whole concept. I'm gonna fly you out. I don't know if you're irritating, and I just don't get it. Well, I'm from a different generation, so nonetheless. But he put himself in a bad situation, and I do believe this will fall on the level of tricking, and it wouldn't even be tricking, right? It wouldn't even be like Too Short and some of the other rappers. I even heard it on Kevin Samuels. It's not. They don't even consider it tricking if it's a thing of, hey, I'm going to go do X, Y, and Z. I enjoy your company. You want to ride with, you want to roll with me, then cool, ride with me or whatever, and you spend and take care of whatever. And it's definitely not tricking if you're taking care of your family, et cetera, right? I know some people, there are extremes on every side. Tricking is any kind of money and given to a woman and so forth and so on. Now, I want to get over into the pickup artists, because this whole tricking thing was the cause of the beef between ABBA and Preach and Fresh and Fit. When the thing went down with them in August, it was over the whole tricking thing, right? Because ABBA and Preach, uh, or at least ABBA, I was very vocal about it, about they should legalize you know, women selling what, guy gave him or whatever, right? He felt that they should legalize it. Dudes like Fresh and Fit stated that they shouldn't legalize it, right? And it's understandable why. So that was the contention, and then Abba and Preach, they did a reaction video to their show with Fresh and Fit, and then this put all of the pickup artists, dating coaches, they had something to say about it. So let's jump into Abba and Preach explaining their portion of this whole thing.
Hey, listen, there's a lot of reasons why you should legalize it, considering it makes it safer for the workers. It brings tax revenue to the country because this stuff is already happening. It happens in the DMs, it happens on the streets, it happens on websites. It's happening every day, right? Legalize it, make it safer for the workers, and also you make it so that the government gets its tax money, gets redistributed into the city, whatever, okay? There's a lot of advantages to it. The downsides have not been recorded in places where it is legalized. So this is my thing. Me personally, I'm not into paying, but some people are. And you know what I should say? Everyone should do what they want to.
Let them.
All right? There's guys in marriages right now who go to rub and tugs because they want a little something extra on the
That
side.
dude said
There's
rub
nothing-
and tugs.
Let them.
Hilarious.
Everyone's doing things in a safe and consensual manner. I'm all for it. Anything you want to say?
No, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, there you go.
But that
Okay, so that was Abba and Preach, and again, I'm gonna play this real quick again here.
What do you consider tricking?
What do I consider tricking? I consider that the exchange of currency or some type of material things for either pleasure, friendship, or just for some goddamn odd reason that you just like giving away shit.
All right, so that's Too Short again, and so my take on this Abba and Preach thing, and the reason why the pickup artists had a hard time with it, right? Logically, it makes sense, and I'm not advocating for it either way, right? Now, if I'm a pickup artist or coach or whatever, dating coach and game coach and all this stuff like Mr. Lucario, Fresh and Fit, Donovan Sharp, and what's the other guy? Coach Greg Adams. All these guys, they had an issue with this. They even had an issue with Kevin Samuel saying it because he said it as well, right? That, hey man, it should be legalized. You got things you got to do. You pay for X, Y, and Z what you need to do, and you bounce, right? Now, what would that do? What would that do for the person who's the pickup artist? What is that going to do? That's going to put them out of business, because if the guy that they're trying to get to pay for their courses says, look, I want to pay for your courses. I'd rather just go ahead and pay for the good time that I want to have, and they pay for it. They cut out the middleman. The middleman is the pickup artist, the Fresh and Fits, the Mr. Lucarios, because those guys say, okay, you pay me, I teach you how to have game to get women to sleep with them. But if you legalize it, then they say, okay, well, why would I have to pay you for courses when I could just pay for the woman that I want to deal with? Why would I pay you to teach me how to get game to sleep with women when I could just pay to sleep with women? So Lucario and those guys had a big issue with it. And that's where the whole beef stemmed from, right? The whole beef stemmed from that issue, because they understood if things are legalized, then guys wouldn't need to try to get game or pay me to learn game. They could just simply just pay for what I'm trying to teach them to get game from. I really should break that down. I know it's a topic that's old or whatever, but and again, and I don't advocate it, but people are going to do what they're going to do. But that dude would have been better off if he did that. And was he tricking? Of course, right? Now, is it still tricking if you can afford it? Sure, but you can afford it, so it doesn't really matter, right? The people who complain about it the most is the people who can't afford it. But Would your money be better spent tricking, quote unquote, or paying someone to learn game, right? Because game, no matter what, who teaches you, quote unquote, game, you're still gonna have. It's still gonna be trial and error. You're still gonna have to get out there and, you know, and you know, test X, Y, and Z. Test whatever they're teaching you. You know, you're gonna have to go out there and try. You're gonna have to, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna succeed, and you're gonna, you know what I mean. So they can't guarantee you a win, and they'll never do that. They'll never say we guarantee that this is going to work for you 100% or 50% of the time, X, Y, and Z, right? They're gonna say, well, it still takes practice and time and effort. So, final thoughts: the brother should have been careful. Not sure why you would fly a woman out there that, you know, you're not familiar with dealing with or whatever. I don't understand that again. And you know, you have to be careful out here with that type of thing. You know, make sure whatever is going to happen is already established, you know, beforehand, and just protect yourself at all times. Again, brothers, you know, I keep repeating that. It's a theme that, you know, like I said, I'm a boxing guy. Protect yourself at all times. You know, it can't get any simpler than that. But those are my final thoughts. Peace, Rebel family.